Hello everyone who's excited for a brand new month of trading. It's almost July. If you're excited, hit the like button, guys. And I share trader days every day on Stock, Twitch, and Twitter. Free to join. Link in the description. And I'm just excited, guys. It's gonna be a great new month. So, ask basically on Stock Twitch what type of stocks you guys are watching. And I'm making a video for this week. Just give my opinions as well as looking at the charts. So the first stock that someone mentioned was BBAI. This one I actually mentioned it several times. This is an AI company, and this is higher float, higher market cap, but it's no problem. I said in the previous video that a stock doesn't have to have low float in order for it to go up a lot like crazy. As you see on the left, this already shows the picture where this stock, once it starts to run, it goes on crazy moves up like several dollars. And the stock finally is breaking out of that channel. The sideways action is finally breaking out over a long period of time, and that's exactly what you want to see on these higher float names, because that shows genuine interest as well as actual technical breakout. Because if it's just one day up and down, right, that doesn't really signify strength. Because on these higher float stocks, there could be type of like manipulation when if it's just one day up and down. But as you see, it's like a multiple days, it just keeps uptrending. And if you look left, the clear level it has to hold is over 6. If it holds over 6, it's genuine. It's most likely going to continue higher towards $10. And I'm not surprised at all when it comes to AI type of stocks, because this is a really hot sector, and also it has a higher short percent float, so they could get squeezed. Because I mentioned in the previous videos that if a stock has a high short percentage, right, if a lot of people are shorting a stock and it just keeps uptrending, then I said that shorting, you have to pay fees. It's not free. On top of that, when you short, you have a really high risk of actually blowing up more than what you have. For example, like if you get into a margin call, there's many times where shorts have to owe money to the broker, and it's just like a mess. I could go on and on about the risks of shorting, especially when you're shorting stocks that are lower market cap. That's not like Apple, Tesla, or those type of stocks, right? If you're shorting these type of more volatile stocks, you gotta be prepared when it does not go your way, right? So the next stock that someone mentioned was SONM. This one again, I mentioned it several times. SONM. This is if you look at it right now, it's a multi-day setup. And I mentioned in my previous videos that multi-day setups are one of the best strategies if you want to profit, right? So again, this one is a micro float, family float. You already know, guys, if you watch my videos, I love low floats. And SONM, if you look at the news, what's really good about this company is that it keeps releasing frequent news. And I said that when a company, especially small cap, releases news a lot, that's really bullish, because news drives volume, and volume is the number one factor in day trading, along with the float, right? So this meets the criteria. First, it has a lot of news, or the company keeps releasing news, and second, the float is really, really nice, 5-minute float. And if you look at the technical chart, look at this beautiful 4-hour chart. It's just forming a cup type of pattern, where first it had a big move up, then it pulled back, consolidate, and now it's forming that type of U-shaped type of pattern, right? This stock, what I'm looking at right now, I'm just getting my honest live thoughts. It's Sunday, and looking at it real quick right now. We want to see over 150, higher volume combined with the catalyst. And the thing with these lower type of float stocks is that if it does not fade, which means like round trip, you see a liquidity trap. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but it's like basically when a stock refuses to go down and there's not sufficient volume for a cover, like short side. You see these multi-day. I remember there was a stock not long ago that had a really big liquidity trap, and then ended up squeezing 100% intraday. So SONM, I'm really looking at 150, over 150 psychological point. And tomorrow, this week, it could very well have news, because based on the scheduling of these companies, this company that likes to release news a lot, combined with the fact that its holding is not fading, round tripping, you definitely add this to your watch list. It's a really nice pick. SONM, I added it to my watch list today. So the next pick is LCFI. This one again, I mentioned it several times. This was a supernova the previous trading day, and this is setting up technically. It's trying to form that pattern, And LCFI, if you look at it again, this is a micro float, 1 million floater. And again, you want to watch the psychological pivot hold tomorrow and this week, which would be 750, 850. Right now, currently, I'm looking at the tape. It almost reached 850. I'm seeing a lot of 830s last on Friday after hours. So the LCFI is definitely out. This was on my watch list before the person mentioned it, but I'm going to be monitoring the stock for high volume tomorrow, as well as looking for that micro float squeeze type of action right over 10, similar to SBET the other month. So guys, if you have any questions, leave in the comments. I don't want to take too long with the videos. That's why I may rush some things, and I have a lot of stocks to go over. So I'm definitely do make multiple videos on certain stocks as well. So don't be, afraid to ask questions. I'm gonna follow up. So the next stock I'm looking at, GNS. You guys already know. You really like the stock, GNS multi-day setup, and this stock beautiful A+ setup. Look at this chart. If you know technical analysis, it's just beautiful pattern where it makes a big move up, consolidate, big move up, pull back, consolidate, big move up. I'm looking at the key $1 level, and this is my prediction, and this is what I think will happen. There's two scenarios tomorrow or this week where the stock is probably going to reject one or go over one, which would cause a stop loss rate for more of day traders, right? They usually have a stop on the one that most of the people, psychological, as well as that's the line in the sand, like support for a lot of people. So let's say the stock goes to 90 cents, gather up all those people that sold, and then it rips face to over $1 again. Or the second scenario, which would this would be over $1, well over $1, like 110, and then it just keeps uptrending, squeezing shorts, like a liquidity trap type of action that I mentioned on SONM. Or these small caps, the shorts, they just keep short, and then eventually you end up in a situation where they can't really cover, right? There's not enough volume. And on this stock, actually, I looked online, and it seems like you can't really buy this stock on certain brokers. So, and that's an issue because that means that people can only sell it, right? So in those type of circumstances, it reminds me of those times during GameStop, AMC. Remember those massive historical squeezes where you couldn't buy the stock, you could only sell it, and that caused a lot of mainstream controversy as well as volume. So you want to keep an eye on GNS. This could be one of those stocks where it makes really interesting price action. And again, when you're trading these type of stocks, you always want to look left, think big picture macro, and don't get shaken up by 1 minute or very small time frames. And on top of that, you always want to manage your risk when you're trading in general. I said it many times, but I'm saying again this video, if you're trading, always manage risk. Don't put it in your life savings, right, on a certain stock, because that's really bad in my opinion. So GNS, if you have any questions, guys, leave in the comments. I'm definitely gonna be watching this all week for sure. So next stock, HIMS. This one is confirming uptrend on the support. HIMS is one of those larger market cap type of companies where, again, this is 11 billion market cap. It's not usually the stocks I like to trade or mention, but someone mentioned it to me, so I'm just giving my thoughts. And this is high float as well, 200 million float. This stock, I'm looking at it honestly right now, and it looks like those type of stocks where it's like a sell the news type of event, where investors were looking for a catalyst, and then once it came, it made a massive drop because it was it's like expected type of scenario. Because I used to trade a lot of large caps as well. I used to trade Tesla. I used to trade Tesla, ExxonMobil, Foot Locker. I used to trade a lot of those type of companies, but I don't do that anymore. I only do small caps. But HIMS, I'm looking at right now, it looks good, but you want to look bigger dip type of idea, but it has to hold that psychological 50. It's just perfect mention where it's right over that 50, around $50. You want to see that hold. And this is a bigger stock, like a bigger large cap stock. So you want to look for fundamental catalysts, not just technicals, because technicals is mainly for small caps. And large caps, there's a lot of fundamental thesis behind almost what drives stocks higher, like Tesla, right? So write down in the comments what's your reason you're holding HIMs and what's your price target. Because I'm curious what's your trading plan, right? Because you don't want to just listen to me or listen to one person saying something on stock tweets and then make your opinion. I'm just curious about what's your own trading plan for HIMs. So the next stock was that people mentioned was alt. This one I mentioned in the past. It made a really nice move up multi-day, but it ended up crashing because this is a biotech, right? I'm pretty sure it's a biotech. And the thing with biotechs is that you have to understand that it's like a gamble, right? Where if stocks comes out with news that doesn't react well, you're gonna see a massive crash. But at the same time, if a stock biotech releases news where it makes a like the market loves that news, right? It makes ended up running like crazy. I remember back in the day where they used to make 200, 500% moves up biotechs. So you gotta understand that when you're trading these type of setups. So that's what ended up happening. The stock ended up having news, I believe, data, and it ended up crashing super hard, which is really unfortunate for bulls. But again, that's the game we're playing in trading. You always gotta manage your risk. And this right now is forming a technical decap bounce, like a cap bounce, which means once the stock declines big over 80%, you can see a natural bounce up. But I don't think in order to go back up to that previous level, it has to have some type of positive catalyst, which you have to look at the pipeline. You have to see the insider, like if any more insiders buy, if there's any news pending, or if there's any that contracts they're gonna have cash coming in, because for these type of setups where it just crashes 80%, 85%, I'm just being 100% honest, you're not gonna see a jump back up to 10 like without a reason, right? So the most is gonna go up. Looking at it right now, the most it will just technically on level go up is probably 50 cents or a dollar from here, unless again there's something that drives it up. I'm just being honest. You're not gonna lie and say that it's gonna go back up, but that's just hopium, right? So what's your average? If you're buying it for a technical dead cap bounce, you're sitting pretty. You bought it at 3, it's at 350 right now. But if you bought it like $8 or $9 and now you're down 85%, then that's very unfortunate. But yeah, stop losses don't really work in extended hours, which I mentioned, I believe, many times in my videos. So you want to be careful, guys. If you're looking at this right now, be careful in extended hours. There's no stop losses. So next stock was KW. This one I mentioned it many times. It's forming a beautiful hourly setup, micro floater, like 500K float, 600K float. That's my favorite ones under 2 minute float. Beautiful setup, definitely on my watch list. And look at this pattern, it's beautiful. Even if these type of stocks don't have news, you see big moves up because they, like I said earlier, the shorts, right? They short and then it doesn't go down, it doesn't fade. And then I was having like a liquidity trap, massive squeeze. Is that add to my watch list? And next stock, ACHR. This one, people mention it to me on stock tweets as well. And this is a natural uptrend type of stock. Again, this is one of those higher float stocks, right? And it's also has a higher short percentage. So again, if it goes up over years, you're gonna see continuation on these type of names. And this is a looking at the news, it's like an aircraft type of company, right? And that's on high demand. You're gonna see more of these type of stocks like BBAI earlier and aircraft, drones. It's only gonna get higher, in my opinion, like almost positive that you're gonna see continued momentum in these type of stocks. So as long as it holds that uptrend, as long as you manage your risk, I wouldn't stress about these type of plays. It just naturally goes up over time. It probably might hit all-time high by the end of this year, as long as it doesn't release like bad news or anything. So the next stock on the list is VBX. This one someone mentioned to me on stock tweets as well. This I'm looking at right now is a recent uplister, and this one is like a thin name, so you want to watch for unusual volume. Monitor the volume. That's my biggest advice, biggest opinion. Look for volume that's unusual, because looking at right now, this stock does not like to have a lot of volume. So once you see that accumulation, or once you start to see unusual volume relative to the average volume, because this is micro float as well, 2 minute float, so that could signify someone's accumulating for a massive move up, whether that's news based or insider based, or it could just be simply just algos. So that would be my best, not a financial advice, but my best tip Let's look for volume on this name, and I do see that there's potential. It used to be 24 just a month ago, no, just a few weeks ago. Now sitting at like $2, 250. It's at 3. Oh, it did already have a dead cat bounce. So it went to 425 from 242. So this stock could, push back towards 10 plus if it has news or something. Or you see that big move up, right? So next stock on the list, IXHL. This one, someone mentioned it to me, where this stock has a lot of catalysts. It's like a biotech as well. But the stock is super cheap. It's not like alt where it was like $10. It's sitting at like 20 cents. 1 25 cents, psychological pivot, as well as those biocatalysts. This is a bottom bounce type of play, so you can see easily 100% gain plus if there is momentum right to the upside, because everything when I talk about is you always got to manage your risk. There's no guarantees when it comes to these type of stocks. But IXHL, this was a very interesting pick. I added to my watch list just now, so I appreciate you guys for giving stock, ideas as well. Because we're a team, guys. I share trade ideas. You guys can also share trade ideas. We're all just trying to help each other, and that's the goal, right? Where we're just trying to get better every day, and there's no clear answer in terms of trading. Like it takes, many efforts as well as many years to get successful in this profession. So I hope you guys bank hard in July. And I'm gonna be sharing trade ideas as well every day, guys. Turn on notifications. We're gonna bank, and we're gonna do good. And guys, have a great night. Peace, guys. I'm signing out.